Hello there, vinyl community. You're looking really good. This is Rich at Embarrassment of Riches, and I'm here to share my March vinyl pickups, a couple of thoughts on Record Store Day, and a few other things. It's good to be back shooting a video. It's been almost a month since my last video when I answered Daryl D's rap tag for 2026. My third year of answering the rap vinyl tag, and one that I'm very proud to partake in. Spring has indeed sprung out here in Pennsylvania. We've had family over for a couple of weeks. There's been planting and cleaning up around the property to do. Weather has been in and out because it is Pennsylvania after all. So one day it's 90 degrees. A day later there's a little bit of snow in the afternoon. It makes no goddamn sense. But overall, it's a fairly decent place to be. I don't mind it so much anymore. We've been here for... This is our 6th year in Pennsylvania, so I think this is probably where we're going to stay. And you kind of get used to the weirdness. Kinda. Eventually. And because I wasn't able to make a video for a full month, the vinyl just kept stacking up because I never stopped shopping for it. I do a lot of shopping on eBay. I did a couple of record stores. I went to the Keystone Record Collectors Convention 2 weeks ago and picked up a stack. And I also got a short stack of records on Record Store Day. I did not wait in line overnight like a lot of people did. I think those days are long gone for me. I've done them long enough. This is maybe the 10th Record Store Day that I've been involved in. And I have decided unilaterally, executive decision, that I'm not waiting outside to freeze my ass off anymore. It is not going to happen. I know that I'm going to miss out on a couple of titles that seem like they're very important in the moment, but almost invariably within a year, I can get 75% of the titles that I had waited for, and the prices aren't too bad. They come down pretty quickly when they find out which ones they can't sell off really quick in the aftermarket. But we did show up at about 10:30 that morning. It was picked pretty clean. I did find, I think, 4 records that I had wanted. My original want list came down to like 25 titles. It's just not worth the physical effort and the monetary hit that it takes to be there that early in the morning to be the first in line. But they also had a 10% and 20% off sale throughout the whole store. And we ended up coming home with a fairly decent sized stack of records. Those will be in the April vinyl finds, I imagine. I haven't got time to do that stuff right now. But I did pick up some great records in March that I'm going to be showing you here, and I am happy to share. And first off, for reasons unknown to me or anyone who has met me, this is the first time that I have had this vinyl record in my collection ever. Of course, I've had the entire discography of their CDs for many, many decades now, I guess, when you think about it. But this is the last studio album in the Smiths discography to fill in my collection. This is Strange Ways, Here We Come. No reason why it took so long to do. I mean, I was holding out for an original press, and prices kind of went out of what I was willing to spend for it. So I did get this. This is, I think, a 2013, something like that, remaster, which is perfectly fine. I'm not going to pay $50 for a rough trade UK Strange Ways. At least not out here. Maybe next time I'm in England, I'll do that, and it'll be a bit more special. But this is, yeah, it is odd that it took me this long to get. This is about my second favorite Smiths studio album. I think if you take away Death of a Disco Dancer and maybe Death at One's Elbow, this thing is nothing but hits. Like, every song on here is really good in its own right. And of course, this was their last record, rather sadly. Yeah. I am glad to have this one now, though. I mean, this will put the search for the original pressing on the back burner as long as I have one to play. I'm going to concentrate more, Smiths-wise at least, I'm going to concentrate more on picking up the 12-inch singles. Wish me luck. I believe I am far behind where Brian at Embryonic Robot is in that collection. I maybe have 4 or 5 of the 12-inch singles right now, and There are so many that I want. You know, there's the original UK pressings are really pretty rad, but almost all of the early ones, maybe all of them, I haven't seen all of them, but the German import pressings for the singles have a lot of splatter vinyl, and they're really cool looking. Yeah, I'd like to get those as well. Because why not? More money. And there is plenty of that good Morrissey songwriting humor here on Strange Ways. And that reminds me of the new record that he did just release, which has the really funny pictures on the front, back, and I believe on the gatefold, where he's actually just being foolish and funny. And I think that's the thing of a lot of people who were not people that listened to the Smiths. I think a point that they missed was the humor. I can see how it might be easy to believe that the lyrics are morose and you know, carry a little too much weight to be pop music. But the intelligence and the humor of the Smiths is what I miss the most. And, you know, I miss Morrissey's sense of humor because whatever the fuck he became, I'm no longer laughing, and I'm not going to buy that new album no matter how good it is. It's just a personal choice. I know a lot of people are enjoying that record now. I'm sure this will be a big surprise to anyone who's watched this channel before, but there's a lot more 80s alternative music to come. And this next one right here is one I've shown before. I have a couple of copies, but this bad boy right here, this one has a silver Obi strip on it. It has an Obi strip?
Yeah, he said it's got an Obi strip.
There's an Obi?
And there is definitely something to the Obi strip to certain collectors like myself. It has an Obi strip.
An Obi, you say?
And there is definitely something to the Obi strip to certain collectors like myself. Did I just say Obi strip? This isn't the Japanese pressing. This is another UK pressing, but one that just happened to have an Obi strip on it. Inexplicably, probably mainly to lure in suckers to spend more cash to get another copy of a record that they already have. That's me, obviously. Yeah, there's really nothing different about this other than the fact that this is the cheapest of the multiple copies of this album that I do have. This one came in a couple of bucks cheaper than the last one. And the Obi strip itself is kind of toe up. It's not in the greatest condition. I think it's even split. I think I had to tape it at the bottom. No matter. I mean, I still love this album, and it's nice to have it in a different format. I will be looking for a couple of more, I think, in the long run, because I am not done buying one of my favorite records until I think I have all the iterations that I want. Yeah, the bottom is ripped. Another little cool thing about this is that I purchased this in a small lot of Ian McCullough records. So I also got two 12-inch singles. Probably my favorite solo song of his from that era, Proud to Fall, a good 12-inch. And this is the 12 Dug for Love off of the Mysterio album, which came after Candleland, which is another excellent, excellent record. I mean, you know what you're getting with Ian McCullough records, whether it's Echo and the Bunnymen or solo. And I had mentioned before long ago that I never find anything cool in the sleeves of my records that wasn't put there by the company that sealed it. A lot of people find cool stuff. I've got a couple thousand records now, and I think I've found interesting things in maybe 3 or 4 of them. This is pretty cool. It's nothing valuable, but it is of interest to me. It's contemporaneous articles about the Candleland record and about Ian McCullough himself, and they were just shoved in there, and it's pretty cool. There's a record review, and this is from a New Jersey newspaper, which is pretty cool because I lived there for a little while. This one, I don't remember. I think this might be New York, but the strangest of all, by far, is this from the New Musical Express. That's a picture. I don't know if this is going to show up all that well, but this is a picture of Ian as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. But what the f is that about? What? Man. I don't know. Ian seemed to have fun with it, so that's all that matters. But cool stuff to, you know, put in the record sleeve and keep. It's a nice little token there. I like that. And next up is more 1980s goodness. I have two compilations here from the golden age of hip hop, 1985, and the first up is LA Beats. This is the second pressing of this record. I had showed the original version probably last year when I picked it up. I had both of these compilations on cassette in 1985. And this was just at the time when West Coast hip hop was really finding its own strength. And right here on LA Beats, you're going to get some of the best that LA had to show at the time. The whole scene was still at that point very heavily influenced by electro hip hop, finding its own voice in the next year or so, because by 87, Boys in the Hood had come out, and you know that changed everything. Woo! And this one here is stacked with the talent that was around at that time. Egyptian Lover is on here, the world-class Wrecking Crew, featuring of course Dr. Dre and DJ Yella. The LA Dream Team, Uncle Jam's Army, one of my favorite hip-hop collectives of that time. Hell, of any time. But yeah, this one is not very easy to come by. It's not too expensive. It just does not show up very much. And I've tried to make a little niche part of my collection to be Golden Age hip-hop compilations. Because by about 87, maybe 88, the compilations got really whack. It was just a lot of labels trying to get rid of tracks from groups that they didn't think were worthy of an album. Just trash singles and maybe one or two really good songs thrown in. So when you see one of the ones that is good top to bottom, yeah, chances are I'm going to grab it. And both of these I remember getting at the swap meet in Pasadena or at the Compton swap meet in 1985. You used to be able to get really awesome bootleg cassettes there. Not a lot of vinyl to be had there from what I remember, but at that point, I only had a cassette player in my room, so for a couple of years stretch there, I was mainly buying cassettes. I hate cassettes. I can't believe there's people who still want to buy those goddamn things. The next one is Hit Hip Hop on Hot Vinyl. This one, the entirety of it is mixed by Dr. Dre. And it is kind of more of the same artists. The world-class Wrecking Crew is here, Egyptian Lover as well. I believe Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, and a very early 2 Live Crew before they went to Florida and hooked up with Luke Skywalker. Uncle Jam's Army yet again. Oh man, I love these things. Yeah, Hit Hip Hop on Hot Vinyl. What a title. Who came up with that? And the next one here is one I hope that a bunch of vinyl community people did get a chance to pick up. I haven't seen anybody share it yet. I saw the pre-order and jumped on it immediately, of course. This is Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime from Beck. Now, I bought this mainly on the strength of his cover of Hank Williams Sr.'s Your Cheatin' Heart. But as the sticker states, it is a lovingly curated collection of rarities, odds and ends, and cover versions by Beck on exclusive red vinyl. And why the hell not just show the red vinyl? It's at least in a poly sleeve. There you go. Yeah, that's not too bad. And it does sound great, which is something you always got to consider when you get colored vinyl nowadays. The mastering's done really well, and even though the songs are from disparate places and times, there is a uniformity to the excellence of the sound, which I'm very appreciative of. Yeah, a lot of these songs have been hard to get, and I think there may be one or two that have not been on vinyl before, so that's extra special. There's also covers of John Lennon song and Elvis Presley song as well. This was slated to be a Valentine's Day release for the lovers, but I didn't get it till March, so yeah, I'm not feeling the love. It's worth picking up if you were on the fence about it. You should go get it. Man, I keep threatening the vinyl community and trying to force myself to make a video of my most recent 12-inch vinyl single finds. I've got months of these damn things stacking up. I probably got like 40 or 50 of them. But I do not want to make this video last 2 hours of me babbling about singles, so I'll pick out one or two stone cold classics to share with the class that I hope everybody else enjoys as well. And this first 12 right here is one that I have loved since it first came out in 1982. So of course it was all over the radio and all over MTV. I wasn't really into alternative rock at that point. That's even pretty early for alternative rock. I don't know what this falls under other than just a fucking badass, super good song. And I have come to think upon listening to it even more that it is one of the best songs of its time and maybe of any time. I love this song. This is I Melt With You from Modern English. This thing here is just unassailably great pop music. It is so well produced, well recorded, and performed. It stands the test of time. I've played this thing probably 10 times since I've had it over this last month, and I'm probably going to do it even more. It sounds so good. Yeah, this one has been on my favorites playlists on my computer and my phone for so many years now, and it's not going to go anywhere. And this is from the album that was produced by Hugh Jones. He of the producing fame of Icicle Works. Peter Murphy, he did Heaven Up Here from Echo and the Bunnymen. That's a hell of a pedigree. That dude was on a hot streak there in the early to mid 80s. One thing that I did find surprising is that on the spine, I won't show it because there's no way you can see it, but it states $4.98. In 1982, this 3-track 12-inch single cost $4.98. And if you're like me and you wonder about these things and check the Bureau of Labor Statistics and look for how inflation has changed things, that is $17 of buying power today. So yeah, it's I guess it's always been a bit expensive to be a record collector. And here's one that is not from the 1980s. This is from the year 1990. This is Head Like a Hole from 9 Inch Nails. The second single off of Pretty Hate Machine, coming right after the other classic, Down In It, which is a badass song to this day still. And this was, what is different about this version? I don't know if you'll ever be able to see it on camera here, especially with the fucking ring light. But behind all the letters there is the outline of a face. It's like in silver ink. And on the front, you see a pair of eyes. I don't think this thing is going to focus well enough to see. And because of those features, this one is called the Dark Face edition of this 12-inch single. And oddly enough, there's also a light face edition of this single that I must now have, obviously. Yeah, I don't mind the hunt at all. And this has 4 versions of Head Like a Hole, plus Terrible Lie and You Know Who You Are. So you get a lot for your money on this one. This might be the only 12-inch single from 9 Inch Nails that I have. So far. And now to go even further back in the time machine. This is from the 1970s. This is Idlewild South from the Allman Brothers. This is a 1978 repress because I cannot seem to find an original 1970 that isn't like toe up completely with surface noise and scratches and all sorts of problems. This is a 1978 Canadian repress, I believe, which suits me to a T until I can find the one that I really, really want. Also, even cooler is this is my 5th Allman Brothers record, which means that they have earned a divider on the record shelves. I'm trying to not overload the whole thing with dividers one after the other, so I'm putting one for every group that has a minimum of 5 albums that I have of theirs in there. So yeah, it's the Allman Brothers' turn this week. And the song that made me want to get this record the most is Midnight Rider, which I think might be my favorite Allman Brothers track. There's also In Memory of Elizabeth Reed on here, which I only know previously from the Live at the Fillmore album in its 13 or 14 minute glory. Kind of odd to hear it here in about 6 minutes, where, you know, they really go off on the Fillmore record. And you throw in a cover of Willie Dixon's Hoochie Coochie Man, and this thing is just perfect. I really like this record. Woo! I'm going to wrap up this first part of the March vinyl pickups with a more modern record, if you can handle that. This is from 2020. This is Clipping with Visions of Bodies Being Burned. I bought this mainly on the strength of years ago hearing one song off of here called 96 Nev Campbell, and that song hit so hard. It became one of my favorite rap songs of that year, and for whatever reason, I did not buy this record immediately after hearing it. I was hoping it was going to be a 12-inch single, but I never ran into it, and I don't think they made one anyway. But, and look at this thing got fucking bumped in shipping. I hate that. Anywho, and look at this. A little Obi kind of insert on the side there, which is neato. Yeah, Clipping kind of is famous for their dark hip-hop kind of horror movie undertones and overtones. A lot of the lyrics. The music hits hard, though. And like I had mentioned previously, that 96 Nev Campbell song with guest rapping from Cam and China is badass. I love that song. The rest of this record is slowly growing on me. It's a bit different than what I normally listen to when it comes to hip-hop. So it's good for expanding the horizons, and I'm glad to have it. March vinyl pickups, finds, acquisitions. It's got an Obi strip.
No.
And next up is some more shit. Fuck, I don't know. But there was released.
There's your Obi?
Anywho, and these are newspaper news. And I had mentioned previously but this purchase for, and this first one,
There's an Obi?
booyah! Yo! And we have hip hop, fucking fuck. And this one right here is stacked with what? Yeah, that was stupid. Shut up. Ah. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. Pennsylvania's a trip. And this one right here, which, and now to go even further, the rest of this,